Hey babe, ready to join the revolution?
Welcome to Boss Less Babe More, a woman-first business movement where soulful strategy means brand clarity.
I'm Grace, alignment coach and Akashic record reader.
And I'm Reka, designer and brand strategist.
Together, we build businesses that are aligned, supported, and actually sustainable.
Fuck the rules. Let's change the world for every woman who comes after you.
Hey babes, welcome back to another week's episode. Today we're going to be talking about friendships, the power of friendship, and how to create friendships, how to sustain friendships, and also how to walk away whenever we actually have either outgrown a friendship or that friendship is no longer serving our best and highest good. So currently I am hanging out in Arizona, and it's really important to me to be able to build a network of people while I'm here. I am very much a people person. That is part of my soul level design. If we're talking about Akashic Records, my primary gift is divine love, which is all about building relationships, sustaining relationships, making connections with other people. And so I'm kind of an expert at soul level on this topic. And so we're very excited to share about how to create friendships, first of all, because I think that's something that we all kind of have struggled with at one point or another in our lives. Especially as adults, making friendships can be a whole different ballgame than if you're a kid. Like, you can't just go out into public and then push somebody and, like, expect them to chase you back and, like, oh, now I have a good friend, right? Like, it's so different as an adult trying to build relationships. So I'm curious, Reka, for you, as an adult, like, in your adult life, what has it been like for you building relationships, finding friends? Have you found it to be challenging, easeful? Do you have to really work at it?
Oh, such a good question. I'm the exact opposite as you. I have a really hard time making friends. I have a lot of really good acquaintances that I will use the label friendship for, because like really deep soul level friendships I struggle with. So I attribute this to my soul level gifts, where some of the shadow side is like impatience. So sometimes I don't really have the patience to receive somebody in their full capacity, or when they share, like I immediately have a quick fix for them, or I'm just like, oh my God, you just keep circling the same topic, like fucking do something about it. And then if you want to talk astrologically, triple Aries, like me, myself, and I, like it's self in all the major aspects, how people view me, how I view myself, like how I present myself. So basically I'm just like a very selfish bitch, and I'm okay with that. I think over time, it's been really interesting to watch, because as a kid, you are either thrown into groups of certain settings where you end up making friends because you are with like-minded people who do similar things, right? Like if you're in a music group or if you're in some sort of extracurricular program. So while I lived in Hungary, I didn't really have trouble making friendships. And then in high school, I had a core group of friends, a couple of friends, and interestingly enough, a really large portion of them became expats, and they live in different countries, not Hungary. So we have a little WhatsApp chat group where we update each other. It's very sweet. And but as an adult, and then when I came to the US, I went to college and I had some friends, and some of those relationships. I mean, not everybody was Ohio based, but like you go through college and then you go get a job somewhere in Florida or somewhere on the other side of the world. So those relationships kind of withered away. And then from just even like partners of what kind of friendships they had or how I fit into certain groups, like I just fit with some people better than others. Like I'll go and hang out with you, but for me to be invested in the relationship, talk to you every couple of days, like really ask how you are, really receive how you are, not good at them. And then if I do find someone, like I feel like with you, it's not hard for me to reach out to you, to blurt something your way. Like she'll just digest it when she has time. So I have maybe, I would say 2 to 3 core people now where it's like, I know I can be selfish. I know I can say something. I know I can be received whenever they have time. I know I can reach out if I really need something. But I'm mostly good at acquaintanceships, like more, not that I'm a surface level person, but if I have a friendship, I want to go deep, and I can't do that with many people. And um, I think that gets misconstrued. And then also, it's a really roundabout long answer, but the other thing for me is I have been on such a journey to find myself and grow myself that I think certain portions of it, I had a really easy time finding people who were on that same kind of trajectory, thinking like yoga teacher training, or especially I was teaching for years. So a lot of people came through the door that really kind of matched my level of like soul level kind of awareness. And then if they weren't growing at the same rate, or I wasn't growing at the same rate as them, it kind of fell apart. And that's what I'm really good at. So when we get into the second part of this conversation about how to walk away, or what are the signs, like I'm more good at that. Like nothing is wrong, but we have just outgrown each other. Like there's just, to continuously be on the same wavelength with someone or grow at the same level, we're talking an intimate partnership, at that point, this is like close to a marriage, or in my eyes anyway. Like if you want that kind of investment, time and energy from me, you're basically marrying me, give or take.
Yeah,
So I hate to
wow.
tell you, Grace, but you are part of the proposal now.
We're married.
Yes.
You're my business wife, my
Yeah.
podcast wife.
Honestly, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so many really juicy things in there. The first thing that I would like to acknowledge is like your group of people that turned out to be expats, and then you have your little WhatsApp group. I think that that's a really interesting thing because you have this exploratory energy in your nature. And so if you find people that it's like you vibe with, you end up sometimes going on similar life trajectories. Like you moved out of the country, they all moved out of the country. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it makes sense that you would be friends with people like that. And also, for you, the divine wisdom, it's not about relationships. It's about what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So I love that you were talking about like, you know what? My brilliance is I know when to cut that shit off, because it's like, does this relationship make sense any longer? No? Okay, then bye. And that's actually like, it's not you being a selfish bitch. It's that you know what is for you and what's not, and mm-hmm. who is for you and who is not. So I think that that's actually an incredible gift to have of discernment, to be able to recognize what actually belongs in your sphere and who needs to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that building relationships as an adult is a lot different than even in high school or college, because you've been put into an environment where everybody's kind of doing the same thing. Like if you meet friends mm-hmm. in college, there's so many people that meet friends in college and then they stay friends for years and years. And, you're all kind of coming together under this umbrella of, oh, we're all students. We're all going to the same mm-hmm. school. We're all walking around the same campus. And so it kind of is easy to meet those people because they're already existing in your natural environment. But then if you don't have a place like that, it's going to be like your 9 to 5 where you go to work and it's your office buddies, or the people that you meet in the printer room and and like you have like a little coffee break or a lunch break with them, and you get to know each other kind of on this surface level, but you only know each other from this one context of, oh, well, we work together. And oftentimes then you don't actually hang out outside of work. It's just, oh, I see this person every day when I go into the office. So being a self-employed person, then that is not an option for you, right? So if you don't have a 9 to 5, how in the world do you go out and make friends? And also not just acquaintance friends, but like people that actually want to reach out to you, or that the friendship can be easy. I'm a big proponent of ease within friendship. Like I think that our friendship, you and I, it's easy because we have mm-hmm. very similar parameters for how we do relationships, just like you were like, I know I can text you and I'll get back to you whenever I get back to you, and that's great, and vice versa, right? So yeah, it's just really nice and easeful to have people in your life that you feel seen, you feel understood, and you have a similar way of relating to one another.
Yeah, I almost feel like when you get started, you have to get these boundaries like a contract you deal with clients of like, listen, if I don't get back to you, nothing is wrong, but I just may not get back to you. Like, I feel like I gotta have like a little contract of like, text me anytime, I may not be able to get back to you. Or like, if I text you 12 a.m., unless I say help now, don't worry about it. You get back to me whenever. But it's those like interactions that I think either societally have been pushed into us, like this is the only way you can friend, or you have to do all of these things, or you have to have the same interests. Like even had this conversation with my partner just the other day. He went pickleballing. He's like, come with me. I'm like, hell no, I have no interest. And then he went golfing and he's like, I just would love if you wanted to golf with me. I'm like, I'm so happy that you love golfing and that you have your buddies who golf with you on a regular. Like he has 5, 6 different people he can call. I'm like, this is not the activity you and I are going to do together. Like, I love that you love this and I love it for you and you do you. And, and it's these like things that you have to pre-say, like nothing is wrong. I'm not upset with you, or I'm not like avoiding you. It's just like this activity that you do may not be something that I want to do with you, right? So I feel like it kind of creeps into friendships too, where we think, oh, we're going to do everything together. Or like, I feel like with you and I, there are days when we don't talk and I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, did I say something to upset her? Why didn't we talk for the last 2 days? Those are things that would have gone through my head previously, but now I have like found somebody on my level where it's like, I don't have to over explain myself. She sees me, knows me, everything is fine and great. So that's when I think the relationship gets difficult, when you're over explaining yourself, like just how you're saying it, like ease is such an important factor. Because as an adult, you don't fucking have time to manage someone's feelings or micromanage these nuances or things where it's like, we are all busy. So if I want to hang out with you, I'm going to hang out with you. And if it's not happening for a really long time, then that's kind of a sign, right? Like we can't make it a priority because we just don't really feel like it.
Yeah. I remember whenever it was a couple months before you and I met, I had cut out one of my best friends. We had been friends since childhood, and we had spent so much time together, but honestly, it wasn't a congruent relationship. I have so much love for this person, but it was no longer in alignment for me, and so I realized that I needed to cut that person out. And it was so hard because, like, again, so much love for this person, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut her out, and then there's going to be a void that has been created in my life to bring in a new friendship that actually is in alignment to me, that really nurtures my soul, that like it feels like an equal and balanced relationship, like it's a two-way street, not just me giving and not receiving anything back. And so I was so scared to cut this person off, but like I knew that I had to do it. And then a couple months later, I met you, and then we had a couple of sessions, and you were like, I just want to be friends. And I was like, me too. However, do you mind if we just like finish out the work that we're doing together and then we can be friends? Because I also would love to be friends with you.
It was I very distinctly remember like waffling back and forth, just like, I really like this girl and I would love to be her friend. I'm currently like in sessions with her and doing all this work with her, but I just like, when it ends, I don't want it to just end. Like, I don't know if we had like 3 sessions or how it was like structured at the time, but I'm like, when this ends, how am I going to like let you know that I think you're cool and I want to hang out with you? And so when I wrote that, I was like, okay, well, the message is out there. We'll see what it is. And if you say no, like, I guess this is an adult friendship where you try to tell somebody that you really like them, and then they'll either tell you they like you back or not. And then your email was so professional, like, let's get our work done. And then when we have settled that, then we can hang out. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I reached out. I felt like there was a connection, right? Like, I felt like something was pulling me towards you. We would go through similar life experiences. I mean, there's a bit of age difference, but there's like so much of parallelness in what we're working towards, how we're working, what kind of businesses we're running, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. But it's nice to have the capacity, because I think sometimes that's hard too. Like, you just keep a bunch of friends around and hang out with them, and you're not necessarily enjoying yourself, but you're not really allowing yourself either. Like you're saying, finding that void, you're not really allowing yourself to fully experience something way better, because you're kind of keeping yourself busy with mediocre relationships. And this applies to so much in life, right? Like, what is the thing that's like, okay, we're cutting it out? Like, super side note, but this working, I just redid my website. I had such beautiful copy that I had such attachment to, but you know what? It made my website really fucking lengthy and too wordy, and that's just not who I am. I don't want to, like, I don't like to dilly dally. But I hired a copywriter. This is like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, in New York, and she was really good and gave me a lot of really juicy nuggets. And then I wrote a bunch of copy I was really attached to. And then guess what? It was just like, I gotta cut all of this shit out and start from scratch. But until you create that space, you can't really let new people or new friends in. Like, it's time consuming to be in friendship and have a friend. And especially if we're talking about holding someone properly, right? Like, you and I know pretty intimate details about each other now, and depths of stuff that cannot really come up in like even like, like an office friendship. Like, even if you chit chat every day at lunchtime, it's like, how do you tell someone, like, I think I'm really depressed, or this person really hurt me, or whatever the scenario is. So it takes time and effort to build that too.
Yeah, and I even remember at the beginning of our friendship, I kind of try to put a warning label on myself as a friend because I'm like, hey, I just want you to know that it is sometimes really hard to be friends with me because I see everything and it just will come out of my mouth. Like, if we're really close friends, I'm going to tell you about yourself whenever I see the thing. Like, I'm going to hold space for you and love you, but like, also, I'm not, if I continuously see you doing something that it's like, girl, what are you doing? I am absolutely going to be that friend that tells you about it. And not everybody likes that, and I am very aware of that. And so I usually am like, hey, I just want you to know that if we become friends, this is where you're headed. So if you like that, amazing. If you don't like that, that's fine too, but just be aware.
So to all of the listeners, a gentle example of this is Grace will ask me, so does this feel like freedom to you? Like, won't say anything else.
That's your frequency,
won't tell me to drop it. But she's like, does this feel like freedom to you? I'm like, shit. No, it doesn't.
But also that's like a beautiful part of why our relationship works, because I think we're both very open to each other calling the other out on our bullshit, and then also speaking up for our needs, and then helping to accommodate for each other's needs and wants. So it works out really, really well. But not every friendship actually needs to be like that deep. Like sometimes, like just how you were talking about, it's like you have all these acquaintances that you would also put the label of friendship on. I have a lot of those too. And I think that they still are friendships. It's just there's levels of friendship where there are some people that I only want to hang out with maybe once a month or every couple weeks. Versus you, we obviously hang out like every single Monday all day long, doing our podcasting and business work and collaboration stuff. And then, we're constantly...
And yard work.
And yard work, manual labor. Yeah.
Definitely milking this relationship, you guys. Grace is a really strong yard worker.
But, I get a lot out of it, too. It feels very much like a give and take, not just a one direction kind of friendship. So I really appreciate that about you. And then going back to talking about how do you actually find the people to become friends with, I think that oftentimes we think relationships or friendships are just something that, poof, happen. And the reality is that it requires effort on your part. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I've been in Tucson for just a couple days now, but my intention is to build relationships while I'm here. And so I've literally been going to so many meetup events, like at least one or two a day. And I just will tell people, like, hey, do you want to be friends?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, the responses that I've gotten, I've had people be like, oh my God, I've been here for a year or 3 years and I really don't have that many friends. I'm like, great, I've been here for 3 days. I'm already building friends. I will fix that problem for you.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like, if you are that person that's just willing to be vulnerable and say, hey, would you like to be friends? Most people are going to jump on that opportunity because I think so many people are craving connection, craving to have real substantial relationships. And like post COVID, I think that a lot of relationships have
Mm-hmm.
been on shaky ground just because we've been isolated culturally for so long, globally even. And so if you just go out and say, hey, you want to be friends? And just speak it out loud. It's a little scary at first, but most people will be like, hell yeah. And if they select, amazing. If they don't select, that person wasn't meant to be friends with you in the first place. But then it's like business. You gotta follow up. You can't just be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, made this connection. So this translates to business relationships too. You make the connection, but then you have to be the one to consistently follow up and reach out and show interest, because otherwise everybody has a bajillion stories in their mind of like, were they just pity asking me if they wanted to be friends, or oh, they didn't text me immediately, now I have all these stories in my head about they
Mm-hmm.
probably don't like me, or I said something wrong, or fill in the blank, man. We have so much fear around acceptance and if somebody is actually going to choose us as their friend. So I think that it's important to go talk to a lot of people and ask a lot of people to be your friend, because then there's less pressure on like one singular person working out.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes for dating too. Like, go on a lot of
Yeah.
dates. Don't put all this pressure on like this one guy, this one date, right? Because otherwise, you're going to be really trying to make it work with that one particular person when they may not actually be congruent to you. You won't know until you go and spend time with them and actually get to know them as a person. You may hang out with them once and be like, oh shit, you're so annoying. I do not want to do this again. Or, wow, we have vastly different interests, but for some reason, the energy is there and we vibe and we can meet each other on the same level. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's really important to just have some detachment. Go for the sake of meeting new people and having an interesting conversation or an interesting interaction with another person. You will learn something and you might just end up getting a good friend out of it. So I think that Meetup and Eventbrite are really, really good places to find community gatherings. So a lot of the events, and they're apps if you are not familiar with Meetup and Eventbrite. But they're apps where basically people will create events. It doesn't matter what your interests are, if it's science or tech or crafting or meditation or Tai Chi or literally anything. I mean, there is going to be a meetup group for it. So, and most of the time they're free or donation based. So even if you just go and you spend like what, $15 to get into an event,
Right.
go talk to as many people as you can and then meet up with them outside of that event. These events are typically meant for creating community, getting you connected to people that you don't know, that otherwise you would probably never meet out in the wild, and so that then you can nurture that relationship and build it outside of that event.
That's really good advice. I was actually going to ask to make sure we say it out loud, like how you found your groups, but I do love Eventbrite. Will say like, okay, in the Dayton area, these are the events happening. I follow a couple of um, accounts that aggregate like what are the different things happening in Dayton, and then just driving here today, saw a billboard that the Strawberry Festival is this weekend. And I'm
Yay!
like, if it wasn't on the billboard, like nobody talked about it in my feed, the algorithm didn't serve it up for me. Like, you gotta search this out and really like click on the things that collect this data for you, because otherwise, like, yes, a million things are happening, but nobody's gonna be like, "Hey, Reka, did you know?" Like, you're gonna search it out and do a little bit of work.
And if you're not into using an app or getting on Facebook events and finding something online to go tap into your people, your networks. Most likely, the people that you already know about events that are happening in your local area. So just go ask them, like, hey, is there anything fun happening this weekend? Or is there an AI tech whatever thing going on sometime that you could bring me into that community? And oftentimes it's kind of an easy way, especially if you already know somebody who's in that community. Like maybe they could just
Mm-hmm.
go along with you so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming, because I know also for people, going to a brand new event that they've never been to with people that they've never met can be very intimidating. And so if you have another person to drag in there with you, or who is already like a member of a group, it's going to make you feel a lot more comfortable. And maybe they could even introduce you to other people.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
So let's talk about, how do you know whenever a friendship is no longer in alignment? What are the signs? What's the writing on the wall for you whenever you realize that either a relationship is diminishing, dying, or maybe is just not in alignment for you anymore?
So, in my experience, the relationships that have kind of fallen away, the signs were that I felt like it was more work for me than what I got out. So, um, there is a particular person I'm thinking of for this exact scenario, where it was like I was giving, asking how she was doing, all of this kind of stuff, and not really, even if I heard back like, "Hey, how are you?" I didn't feel like there was enough. It was like a nicety. What's the word? And like I said, I already don't have a whole lot of patience for holding too many people. But it was the sign was that I felt like I wasn't getting as much out of there. I wasn't really heard or seen. And then in addition, I have very little patience for people who are in the same cycles and never ever do anything to change it. And so there's only so much I can listen to about you, like, let's say, bitching about your husband and staying in that marriage, or I don't even know what a good example is, but like being in this space of like constant resentment towards something and dumping that on me like I'm some sort of trash can, and you not really taking action. So it's okay for you to say like, "Hey, I just need to bitch about this thing, and this is like, I'm not really proud of it, but this thing is happening and I just need to be heard." That's one thing. It's also cool to say, "Hey, I need resource. Like, I have this thing going on and it's affecting me deeply. What is your insight as a complete outsider? What is your suggestion? What would you do in my place?" Right? Like, there are different ways to manage that where I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of. But if it's just constantly getting dumped on me, those are usually the signs where I'm like, "Wait, why am I doing this? Why am I like the emotional garbage container?" And then the other one is if there is some sort of conflict or fallout. I'm not really awesome at conflict, uh, but I have been in a couple of relationships where the conflict, and partially my fault too, not being able to resolve it very well, the residual, like we said it's fine and we talked about it, but really at the end of the day, we still didn't either quite say everything that was on our minds, or just similar resentment started to build up again. So it was like, okay, got cleared for the moment, but we got back into the same patterns. There is a person in mind where I'm like, I love you so much, but we we can't repair our patterns. Like, we're not exactly copacetic, and we're gonna go down the same path. So I just don't have the time and energy to go down that same path with you over and over. And the problem with me is that when I walk away from relationships or realize, like, you know what, I'm just going to stop talking and see what happens. That's my ultimate modus operandi. Like, this doesn't really feel good. I'm not going to blow it up. I don't need to make a giant argument. I don't need to like proclaim like I'm cutting you out of my life, but just like pull back. That reaction of what happens, does the person reach out like, oh my gosh, I feel like you've disappeared. Everything okay with you? Like, were they completely unaware that they were affecting me a certain way? Ultimately, like, if, walk away and kind of see what I can experience, that gives me a gauge of like, should I go back or not go back? And then if the hurt is really deep, like you knew this was a really sensitive subject and you just kept going at it and hurting me, then there's no point in repairing. And all of my relationships, even the ones that have ended, like, I love you and I'm not in love with you, like everything is okay. I walked away from my marriage with the utmost respect for my ex-husband, and I know that if something is really particularly his cup of tea, I can still call him and he knows the other way. We don't text, we don't call, but it's not, you don't have to blow it up, right? You don't have to be a bitch about it, but sometimes you can just feel that this is more work than it's worth, or you give more than you get out of it, which it should be a two-way street, like you said. I'm here to tell everybody, it's okay to walk away. It's okay not to text back. It's okay to take a selfish.
I would totally agree. If it's like, oh, this feels really out of balance, like I'm giving so much and not receiving anything back. Another thing for me is like if boundaries immediately keep getting crossed, it's like, oh, something happens. Okay, set the boundary. Boundary keeps getting crossed. It's like, no, I'm sorry. I'll give you like a couple chances to like remind you of, hey, I don't want to participate in this with you. Oh, you can't see me. You don't want to actually make sure that this relationship is good for me too. So if you have to walk away from a relationship, a lot of times it's not that you stop loving the person. It's just that it's not working any longer. And honestly, however you are feeling in the context of a relationship, likely the other person is feeling the same way. So if you're like, I'm hanging out with this person out of guilt or obligation because, oh, I'm their only friend or whatever it is, most likely they don't actually want to hang out with you either. It's that they're doing it also out of guilt and obligation from a slightly different perspective. I'm more on the side of caution of like, if something doesn't feel good, you might as well just walk away from it. Like maybe have a conversation and see if anything shifts, like listen for the feedback. But if it doesn't, it's time to walk away.
Also create the void so you can bring in relationships like you and I did for each other, like create the void. That to happen. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we would love to hear how beautiful. So we would love to hear about how your relationships are going. And if you are interested in connecting with us, you can always reach out to us on Instagram at BossLessBabeMore. We would love to hear from you. And until then,
don't forget to boss less
babe more.